Today, sorry, let me just fix this. Today, we're going to talk about Saint Agnes of Rome. Many of you have probably heard of Saint Agnes, right? But did you know that she was killed when she was just 13 years old? Yeah, Saint Agnes lived in Roman Italy, and she was born of a noble family, right, in Rome. However, she was from a young age, she grew up to become very Christian, right? She followed Jesus and even took a vow uh, of purity and I think chastity to say that her life belonged to Jesus, right? And it turned out that many people wanted to marry her at such a young age, but she refused. And her refusal led to one suitor who was rejected, uh, going to the Roman officials to report her, right? At just 13, guys. And at just 13, she found herself uh, being threatened by Roman officials. At one point, there's a story of how they wanted to publicly expose her, right? As in, they wanted to publicly expose her while she was naked, right? To humiliate her. But there's a story of how when men tried to approach her, they were struck blind or something. And then there's another story of how when the real story, like the real death story is whereby when she was 13 years old, again, sorry, when she was 13 years old, she was approached by the Roman executioner who wanted to kill her according to the orders of the Roman governor at the time. However, when he hesitated, Saint Agnes said, "Go for it, do it. I'm ready to meet my Lord." And that's just amazing. It's so cool to see how people back then, and even people today, some people at least, are willing to give up their lives for Jesus. And it's so easy to speak about this, but it takes real spiritual courage and faith to do this. And faith comes from the Lord. So yeah, let's pray, let's ask for faith. But more than that, guys, which is not easy again, but more than that, guys, let's stay strong in the Lord. Bye.